Welcome to ARK Aberration. This is the Vindictive tribe base. Um, for those of you who are interested in location, go ahead and show that. There is the coordinates 47.3, 70.3. It's the general location of where we started our base. If you're interested, good resources in the area. As you can see, wood, stone, metal, those little blue rocks. Those rocks with the blue streaks in them, those are actually metal. And those tall mushroom-looking things are actually fungal wood, so you get wood out of those. And of course, as you go up there, you've got more stone. Obviously, plenty of resources in the general vicinity for mushrooms, plants. Everything else is all available right here. But as you'll see, there's many more resources available in this general area. All right, going on in. Down here, we started actually down here. We walked our way down here using mobile bases as a tribe, which was actually kind of a fun adventure. And that's where these guys are parked now. So you can see we've actually got an actual mobile base. It's full of a smithy and fabricator and all those kinds of things. Up here, this one is actually just storage and fridges. So we brought food and things with us that way. This one is actually a battle base. We used it for protection. It was actually the scout or the lead of our caravan. And then this one is actually a fully mobile garden and food facility. And actually on the roof, which you can't see, which I'm going to go ahead and fly just for a second here. You can see all the crop plots on the roof. Those were actually all defensive plants to add to our turrets and defensive capabilities for our caravan. And then down in here, we still have vegetables growing. Farmers down in the bottom, we have compost and feeding troughs. So we were able to, keep our caravan alive during the travel down here into the blue zone. There's just a couple reapers that we've got out. So just some things that we've tamed and left down here for the most part. But as you can also see, we also have some gas veins down here. So that's nice from a resource perspective. You can put up gas pumps and just collect congealed gas balls. Oops, I'm getting a little too close to the reapers with my light pet here. You also have one of these Plan Z species plants, so you can collect seeds. You can plant your own. The seeds themselves are actually very good for light pets. Speaking of light pets, get you a better shot here. Zoom in a little bit. See one on the ground there. But these guys are a necessity. Shinehorn is what I have on my shoulder here, but they provide light to you and keep the nameless from spawning. Alright, then actually I'm going to go back to walking here. See here we've got our elevator, which takes us all the way up to the top, but we have a few platforms in between that are part of our base as we go up. So we'll just go ahead and go up on the elevator. This was a lot of fun to build. Took a lot of time, quite a bit of resources to make all these individual tracks. You can see in the bottom right hand corner, we've got a few different stops along the way. 0 being the bottom or 1 being the bottom as well. Our first stop on the base tour is here at our pens. See, it stops right here. Each floor has a call button, so you can bring the elevator to the floor that you're on if you need to call it to you. This track is an experiment that we'll explain later. You can see one of our Karkinos here for resource gathering. So he's got his Dodix and the Anki to be able to grab and claws and go ahead and take down and go out and gather resources. As you leave this pen, walk across this crystal here. It's a nice view down from where we came. Over here we have our breeding pens and farm. On this first side, we have our breeding pen. It's a little loud. So we've got an item collector, a few hatcheries here, a nanny to help raise our tames and things like that. Cryo fridge, that's what actually holds our army for the boss fights, and generator powering it all. The fridges here obviously store extra eggs. We get a lot of rock drake eggs, so we specifically have a fridge for that. And then the farm fresh eggs are actually the overflow storage for the farmed eggs. So I'll go ahead and show you the farm. So over here we have our farm. This is a bunch of tech parasaurs that are laying eggs. And then they go into the hatcheries. And then we empty these hatcheries out every once in a while. It's going to get a little laggy here, because I do have a few in the slaughterhouse. So this room here is a slaughterhouse. We hatch the eggs. We don't claim the babies. And then as they become fully grown, then we can harvest all of these for metal. So you get scrap metal, you get element dust, electronics, and then sometimes you also get some prime meat and oil. So that's a way that we actually help ourselves to some extra resources, especially the element dust and electronics. So that gets a little laggy when they're all there. We have a Megalosaurus over here to help us harvest, in case we do hatch out quite a few. But the best way to harvest these guys is actually using a chainsaw, actually. So then if we go back over to the elevator, that's our main kind of basic platforms that are closest to the ground, easily accessible to the ground. And then as we go up another level, elevator, you can kind of see down into the platforms. Beautiful waterfall in the background. On the next level here, we have our Reaper pen. The Reapers in this map are very unique tames. You have to first find a Reaper Queen and get her to be weak enough that she gets scared and actually impregnates you with one of her offspring, which sounds a little strange, but it's a unique way to have a tame. And then you have to bring your baby home and give birth into an area that contains the baby. So we built this little area here. Starts here, up above is the main base. We'll get to that next. But this is a little landing area for rock drakes and other creatures as we return back from our adventures. And then you can kind of come down, and I can just jump down. But again, you can either climb down the ladders or jump down. And then you want to get down into the pen here. There's one of our Reapers actually. But in here we can have 4 different tribe members ready to hatch or breed their Reapers. Each one of these breeding pens basically allows you to keep the baby contained, because they are not happy with you when they are first born. And then this area also allows you to bring them out once they're juveniles, and then you can walk them around and do all the imprinting here within the pen. They can't get out until you want them to anyway. So you also have this large area over here. Actually keeps going all the way around, right? So you've got a pretty large area to raise up at least 3 or 4 or 5 reapers at the same time. What we do also have here is some refrigeration, so we can keep different imprinting materials that are needed for the reapers. They can ask for anything throughout the imprinting process, so we try to keep as many different items as we can on hand, so that whoever's raising up a reaper baby, they have those items available to them, so they can run over here and grab them or pull them into their inventory. Right. Moving right along then. Climb back up here. Oop, I'm on the wrong side. Going back to the elevator then. We move up to the next floor, which is the actual main base. This base was actually built with a kind of an open air theme. We really liked the view, so we wanted to make sure we were able to still see that view. So we used a lot of glass and a lot of stone, but as much glass as possible, wherever possible. So you can kind of see over on the right here, we've got our crafting area. So we've got a tech replicator up top there, industrial forge, all the different crafting benches and tables that we have. This is part of one of our mods. This is that track that I was showing you earlier. It's kind of a test for a future video, so more to come. Just think Jurassic Park. Along here we just have, kind of the generator that runs the elevators, and then some turrets to defend the base in case any nameless or other creatures spawn. Down the bottom here we just kind of have general open area. You can come all the way through the base, as you can see. Again, talking about that view, I used glass when we were building whenever possible so that we can maintain these views. But there are actually walls here, little half walls, so you can't just fall off the edge. But it's a pretty nice view. One of the things that we're pretty proud of is our garden. As you can see, it's a multi-tiered garden. You can kind of walk through. Not fully healthy at the moment, but you can get the idea. And then we also have some snails and some dung beetles that are on a tech leash, so they won't leave the garden, but they're helping to make sure that we have enough fertilizer and other resources in order to keep our farm going. And then of course we have some plant Z species, so we can get those fruits. Over here on our side we have our farmer and our gardener. So the farmer keeps us fully stocked with fertilizer and distributes that fertilizer out to the crops. And then our gardener picks all of our crops for us. So you can see it's seeds and fruits from all of our different crop plots on this level, as well as the level above, which I'll show you next. And so again, speaking of the view, this actually hangs off the cliff a little bit, so it's got a pretty nice view from the garden area. Also down here we have our refrigeration for our different items, crafted foods, kibble, meat, and so on. We have some preserving bins so we can make jerky, and of course our industrial cookers, industrial grill. We got some beer making over here in the corner, and then some vaults for the tribe, so saddles, armor and gear, weapons and ammo, and then of course all of our tribute items and artifacts for the boss fights. Pretty simple. And if we go up to the second floor, again all glassed in, but this area is a little bit more enclosed because this is where the tribe sleeps. But I like the glass floor, so you can all still see the base floor here. Each tribe member has their own bed, their own cryo fridge for their teams, and their own storage for gear, weapons, ammo, unique items, and drops that they find along the way. So you can see the different tribe members. We all kind of have a color scheme, so the beds match up to the colors. This one here on the end is mine. And again, because we like the view, nice open view out into the blue zone of Aberration. This is also the second floor of our garden. Some different decorative plants up here. The plant species X. They obviously don't shoot anything, hopefully, because we are all enclosed here. And then you've got the roof. The different purplish light and opaqueness is all kind of a reflection of the different time of day and Aberration and the glow of the crystals. But instead of having stone on the walkway on the second floor, we have glass. So again, you can see down into the first floor as well. Okay. Obviously some basic dino storage over here. We actually keep a couple of these guys here for protection purposes in case anything does manage to get inside the base. If we run out of ammo. Then coming this way, we also do have a third floor. Actually, I should go back this way. We're going up to the third floor. This is basically rock drake parking, or large dino parking. So we keep a lot of different drakes up here. And then also, obviously, you can launch from either direction and land inside here pretty easily. Back. There is no half wall here, so you can fall off the edge because this is the area we launch from. So it's pretty easy to get down to the radiation and the red zone, down to the rock drake trench from here. And of course, we have some glass ceiling as well. Don't really do anything on the roof. We can use it if we need to for overflow. We have a few turrets here as well, some heavy turrets, just protecting the back entrance of the base. This area we don't use very much except for storage for our reapers. So all the reapers, you can see they're buried here in the ground. These little rock piles. I'll go ahead and put my head back on so you can kind of see. We have reapers. Each one of these rock piles. So the tribe has a few. Kind of gone on a binge of reapers. This is part of one of our mods just for fun. That's actually a human cannon. It'll shoot you halfway into across the map there into the radiation zone. And then you have a Ferris wheel here that you can actually ride. And if I go game mode, you can kind of see that. So this is just more for fun. That hurt a little bit. All right, if we keep going this way, actually, the back entrance to our base is a water area, and we cordoned it off so that we could have a little bit of a pool as well. So we did go ahead and create a pool. The pool is complete with a low dive and a high dive, if you're so inclined. We used to have a pet trilobite down there. His name was Bob, but unfortunately Bob despawned at some point. But he actually was quite the survivor. He was a wild one that I was able to coax into our pool. But as you can see, you can take a nice swim in the pool. Ladders to get out on the sides. Some glow bugs here on the corners, keeping things lit up. That's one of our tribe members. Don't mind his character model. That's actually what he looks like in real life, so, you know, true to life. We have some sunbeds here if you just want to lay out by the pool. And then, of course, we have some water slides. So, again, this is part of a mod, so this is work in progress. But if you come through here and out onto the deck area, you can kind of see another, we have access to our waterfall. So this is the top of the waterfall that you saw going down the back of our base, in the area in between our platforms. And then of course we can climb up here. And then we have a few different options for water slides. This one is actually one of my favorites, but these are all works in progress. But you can actually use the water slides. They're fully functional and have, go right between the claws of the giant crab. But again, we have a nice wall set here and gate, so this is all protected area. But right outside this gate is actually pretty dangerous. These trees themselves are actually from a decor mod, so I did add them, but they are normal trees that could be a part of the general landscape of Aberration. This other water slide over here is actually going to extend and go out the waterfall here, which is a little interesting trick about the waterfall. There's a little spot of dry land right here. So you can fly or, use your commands that you need to use from ground if you're right below that. But we're going to have a water slide that comes out these doors. It goes all the way down the waterfall to the bottom there by the crystals, past the breeding pens and everything. So that should be a pretty epic water slide. As I said, right outside the doors, it gets a little bit dangerous. You've got lots of different things in the water. And then, of course, you've got giant crabs, lots of electric eels, jellyfish, and so on. As you can see, it can get pretty tough. It's a pretty tough life out here. Even down to this little waterfall. Don't be fooled. There are often a lot of drops here. But right below them are generally a whole lot of bad things, including this. Watch, they'll all come hang out right here near me. They can't quite get to me, but if I get a little lower, they'll all start to jump. Once they start jumping, they actually can grab you right out, even out of the air. So, I'm gonna go ahead and go back to the base. But that is the 10-cent base tour of the Vindictive tribe base on ARK Aberration. Give you some good views here from the other side as well. Cliff down below. I hope you enjoyed the